Okay, so this is dig day out in Irvine. We have Redline Excavation out here doing their thing. They're basically the best of the best when it comes to swimming pool digs. To kind of show you what's happening here a little bit, we have our forms up. Now, before we do these forms, we'll run out some string lines. So we'll pop some rebar in the ground and run some strings just to get the general rough layout of the pool, to get all of our proper dimensions and whatnot. And then once that's determined, well, even before that, I'll just kick it back a little bit here. Even before that, we have grading that needs to take place. So we take a look at the weep screed on the home, and we want to find out what our finished height is going to be. And when I say finished height, I basically mean the top of concrete or the top of pool coping. And that determines how much grading needs to get done on the project. So in this case, we went about 7 inches below the weep screed, and that gives us 2 inches below for for finished grade. So once that was done, we did the strings, and then now they got the forms in there. And as you can see already, we have Fernando in there doing his thing. This yard, we had to take down the side fence. So by doing so, that allowed us to get this properly sized excavator in here. Normally, they might have to bring in like a mini excavator or a Bobcat. In this case, we had about 7 feet of clearance from the side of the house to a tree that's over there. And so they were able to bring this in. And when you get a big machine like this in to do a pool, it really makes short work of the job. This is probably going to be a one-day dig. I'm recording this and the dig is still happening, so I'm going to go back to the job, but it will be all in one video. So we'll see how far they get today. You'll see in just a couple seconds how far they get. A couple big things when it comes to digging a pool. Before you even begin, of course, you need to find out what's underground. If you have any plumbing lines, if you have any major electrical lines or cable, like internet lines, these are all things we need to look out for. Sewage lines are another big one. So with that, we use the service called Dig Alert, which you may be familiar with or may not be. And that's a free service, and you call in the address and the job site. You specify what kind of work you're doing, and they'll notify all the local utilities for that residence. They'll come out and they'll make markings on the ground. You'll also get like a digital readout telling you whether or not the area is safe to dig. In this case, on the side of the house, we have a lot of cable. So internet, there's like 2 or 3 different companies that have internet or cable ran through there. So for digging the pool, that's not posing a problem. But when it comes to doing our plumbing and electrical, we're gonna have to run our trenches for that 18 inches down. So when we get to the designated areas that may have cable there, or that does rather, we'll have to hand dig within that area. You really don't want to hit those lines because they do come with a hefty fee, and you could piss off quite a few neighbors if their internet goes down. I don't know how the internet one works exactly, but I do think if you hit a line, I think it's kind of like a Christmas light situation where if one light goes out, all the ones past that go out. I could be mistaken on that, but I think that's how it works. Now, just to help you understand what's happening, the wooden forms here that you can see in the front, the top of the wooden form is going to be the top of gunite now, or shotcrete. Now, that's not going to be the finished height of the pool, because on top of that, we'll have about 3.5 inches of pool coping. In this case, it's going to be poured in place concrete. As you may have noticed, there's a bit of a kick up over here on one side of the pool, which you can't see now, but it's to the left side. And that's going to be a spa. So the spa is raised 18 inches, and it's going to have a spillway, where you can see that better now. It's an 18-inch raise there. And in the middle of that common wall between the spa and the pool will be a spillway. So when you have the pool in normal circulation mode, a certain amount of water will will kick out to the spa and then over the edge of the spa into the pool, and it'll make a full cycle so all the water gets filtered out and cleaned. And then when you want it just in spa mode, it's going to just keep the water in the spa. It's going to pull from the spa and return it to the spa, so it's all contained. Here, kind of zoomed in on this part. It's kind of fun. I think Fernando's trying to get that root out, but he's having a hell of a time. I think the teeth are just not quite hitting it, but anyways, not a big deal. Obviously, this yard had a ton of foliage in the back, a lot of trees, ivy, a lot of different plants. And maybe I'll post a video up on that of the demo process, but there was a ton of demo for this backyard, a bunch of trees. So with that said, the dirt obviously has a lot of roots in it, and I don't think it's even technically considered clean dirt at that point when there's a lot of roots. And so when it comes to excavation, when you want to get rid of your dirt, there's different sites that you can take it to. And in this case, some of it I think has been clean loads, and then some of it hasn't been. So if it has a lot of roots, or say there's a structure underground that's no longer needed, but there's like brick and different stuff in the dirt, again, it's not a clean load. That may be obvious to some of you, but maybe not to others. That's something I never really thought of before I started to build pools. So it's kind of interesting, all the different things that come into play. But yeah, because that spa is raised 18 inches, he won't need to excavate down quite as far. Now we're just dropping a load in the Super 10 there. These Super 10s are cool. They have tarps that go over the back, so that helps mitigate any issues with, like, you know, dirt clods flying off the back of the truck on passerbys and whatnot. And then this Bobcat, he's kind of like the conveyor belt. He's the one running the dirt back and forth from the dump truck, and the excavator is the one actually doing the digging, and then he just drops it in a pile, and then the Bobcat comes and picks it up. So after coming back later this day, this is how far they got. Basically, they have most of the pool done. You can see all the blue lines on the forms. That's the way they mark out the steps and like different areas of the pool. So those two blue lines at the end there are going to be steps. This little box out here is going to be the skimmer. Now the skimmer is a plastic unit that when they shotcrete, they go ahead and entomb it basically all in concrete. And then the next day, around 10 a.m. I think this was, the pool was done. So it was like a day and a half dig. I mentioned those blue lines before. The blue line across the way there on that form, that's going to be the Baja shelf, which you can see already kind of exposed there anyways. The spa, again, is going to be raised 18 inches, and we'll have two steps at the end there. This is going to be a really fun project. I'm excited to show you guys the next steps. The homeowners are really excited. They're really, really cool people, and they even had me take a picture of them at the deep end of the pool, which makes working on projects a lot more fun and exciting. And guys, really quick before you leave, we do have a private Instagram/Facebook group. It's $4.99 a month, so it's $5. It's super cheap compared to a lot of other groups, and you'll get some behind the scene action on Instagram. I'll do some courses, some tutorials, some videos that I could hopefully teach you guys a couple things, whether it's business related, design, marketing, how to make catchy reels and social media posts. The other cool component is we have a private Facebook group, and I really think that's where most of the magic's gonna happen, where guys can help one another, post questions, answer questions, help each other out. So I'd love it if you guys joined. If there's anything in the group after you join that you wish it had and it doesn't, DM me, let me know, and I'll try to implement that. I'm an open book. I really want this to serve everybody. I want it to be cheap and not financially burden anybody for the month. I want it to be a cheap and super powerful tool that hopefully can be useful to you guys.